Anthony Hartwig here with a Jefferson football player profile. I am joined by QB1, Grant Hitchcock. Grant, thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
Thank you. Great.
Before we
Happy.
get to anything else, we got to ask about you being the all-time passing leader at Jefferson and how it feels to, at least for the foreseeable future, have your name on the top of that list in the Jefferson record book.
It feels great. That's a goal of mine that I've been reaching for since I started playing quarterback in 10th grade. And it's even better because the person's who record I broke was my brother. So that was pretty
Yeah,
cool.
we got to talk about that because, the guy that had it before has the same last name as you. Back in 2015, he had the record. Uh, what was that like to kind of be chasing your own brother's record and to have kind of family bragging rights on the line?
It's definitely cool. Bragging rights definitely is like something like when we get back together, I can definitely say to him. But yeah, it's just something that throughout the season, I didn't even really know I was where I was like coming to that point, how close I was or anything like that, and then it kind of just happened. So
And now not only have you broken it, but you have shattered it since then too. What has been working so well for you, you think, over your career, especially this season and this Jefferson offense that has put up ridiculous numbers?
definitely establishing a run game and then getting into our pass. We've gotten a lot stronger, which helps us in running the ball more. And our line and most of our players are very experienced, so that's probably our biggest upside.
We talked to Coach Hanna earlier in the season, and one of the things that he brought up was the confidence of this team and how it's a little bit different than last year. Do you feel that yourself? Have you gained a lot of confidence this year as the leader and the senior leader of this team?
Yeah, confidence has definitely risen, not only from me but from everyone else on our team. We tasted it a little last year, and then this year we've really started to put it all together.
Yeah, how were you guys able to keep this season not going the way last year did? Because last year, of course, you started 3-0, and then you hit a little bit of a rough spot, and it just kind of kept tumbling. But this year, you start 3-0. Yes, you lose the first game of the NBA play, but you don't let that derail the season, and you keep coming back and fighting back, keep getting off the mat every time you get knocked down. What do you think is attributed to that in this locker room?
Definitely hard work at practice. Everyone has bought into the program and decided that we don't want our seniors and our season to end that way. So just our hard work throughout the season has driven us to that point.
All right, and when you say buy into the program, what kind of things do you think define this Jefferson program, and what kind of things do you think the roster as a whole has really bought into this year as a Falcon?
Just like heart and stuff like that. We don't have a lot of people on our team, so it's just everyone plays a significant role from practice squad players, people on scout team, being there during the week to get the starters good looks and stuff like that. So that's really helped us.
And you talked about the numbers. You don't have a lot of people. You're actually one of the smallest teams in the conference down there in Division 4 now. What are some things do you think gives you guys that chip on your shoulder that you guys seem to always play with?
Just looking back at history and how far we've come from when we were freshmen to now, and that's just been a big help for us to give us motivation and stuff like that.
What kind of things do you think Coach Hanna has brought to this program, and what kind of energy has he filled this locker room with?
He's given us a more open sight to the game, and his motivation. He's very good at motivating, and he brings I don't know. It's kind of hard to explain if you're not around him, but I'll just
What
give.
about you personally? What kind of things has he helped you personally with in your growth as a football player?
Uh, Definitely as a quarterback, since he was a quarterback, he's helped a lot with that because just as an overall development, like reads and arm strength and just the footwork aspect of being a quarterback.
What part of that role of the quarterback position do you think you've developed the most in this year?
This year, ooh, I would say commanding the offense, speeding it up when it needs to be sped up, or certain plays. He'll let me call a play if I see it. He'll give me the freedom to just call it without even asking him. So that's a big step I've taken from last year.
Him having that confidence in you, does that give you the extra boost of confidence as well to know that your coach trusts you to make decisions like that?
Oh yeah, definitely.
What do you think are some of your, obviously we talked about the career leader in passing yards. What are some other proud achievements that you've had as a Jefferson football player that you kind of are going to look back on after you graduate?
Well, obviously making the playoffs this year, which we expect to win a couple games in there too. But other than that, 1,000 rushing, 1,000 passing last year, and then hopefully again this year. I'm almost there, and then those are like some milestones I've been happy to reach.
Okay, last year you get that 1,000 yards in passing and rushing. So, what were some things that made you? What were some ways I should say that you raised the bar this year and said, okay, that was a good goal to have, but I'm gonna one up that because a lot of people might get that and then kind of take a step back. What were some of the goals that you set for yourself after that season?
Uh, I just wanted to win more games, honestly, because at the end of the day, you can have great numbers and then not win games, but it's definitely more fun when you're winning games. So this year has been better, I would say, because we're better.
All right, a lot of teams on your schedule. What do you think is the one team that you guys circle the most on your schedule to say like this is the one that we really, really get up for, the biggest rival you could say, or the one that excites you guys to play the most?
Uh, Obviously, Edgewood's like the closest team we play, and we all know people from there, so that's always a fun game to play. And then in our conference, I don't know. I like playing Hubbard. I like playing all the conference teams, honestly, because they're all like good matchups for us, I feel.
It's the last year in this conference. What has it been like for you and especially the underclassmen that will be, out in another conference next year to kind of leave your stamp on the NE8 the last year that you're in it and to make sure that people knew that Jefferson could compete?
Uh, I was happy with the way our season went. Uh, Obviously, like you said, being our last year, I thought we made a pretty good mark on our league, and that was like our goal going into the year. We knew it was our last year in this league, so we wanted to let people know like that was how we were gonna leave it.
Was that focused on it all in the locker room that it was your last year? And was that any of the discussion like, hey, we really do want to make our imprint, or was it just kind of felt like just another year in the conference?
No, that was sort of like a discussion that yeah, we wanted to leave an imprint on this league, like you said.
All right, we talked about imprints on the league. What about you? What kind of imprint do you hope that you left in this locker room when you graduate? If we ask players next year, what kind of legacy you left at Jefferson? What do you hope their answer would be?
Uh, Hopefully, like someone they followed by example, like just as in like a whole football player, not only like football, but as in the locker room and like around people in the school. So I hope like when I go back, that's something that people can say about me.
You've always been a leader as a quarterback. It's the nature of the position. You have to be a leader to be back there. So, how have you grown though as a leader throughout your career as the Jefferson quarterback?
Uh, so from starting from sophomore year, uh, coming in, I probably wasn't much of a leader, but obviously, like you said, quarterback, you have to be like the leader of the offense. Uh, as the years went on, I started to get more comfortable, and then with the guys on the team, we've obviously been around each other for a while, so it's just been like easier to grow as a leader, especially being the quarterback.
You guys get a great atmosphere on Friday nights in Jefferson, and it's what makes that such a hard road trip for other teams, especially in this NE8. What's your favorite part about the Friday Night Lights experience and just the atmosphere of Jefferson home games?
Uh, Friday Night Lights is just way different than any other sport. It's something like only someone who's experienced it can like tell you. Just like the band playing and all that, just for any home team is just different.
When you look up in the stands, is there anyone that you try to spot when you're looking up and trying to find someone supporting you?
Uh, I try not to look in the stands. I just try to focus on the game, but I don't know. I don't really. Yeah, I guess I don't really look in the stands.
Do you hear the stands, or are you one of the players that just completely blocks out the noise too?
I mean, obviously, if you're like standing on the sideline and like kick off or something, then you hear the stands. But most of the time, yeah, you just try to block it out.
Um, you know, Obviously it's easier in a football stadium. What about when you transition into the other sports, like especially basketball? Is it harder to block out the crowd when they're so close to you?
Yeah, definitely in basketball, like you know where some people are sitting because obviously the stands are so close, and you hear them. So, but that's one of the things about basketball that makes it fun too.
Let's talk about that transition and how you've been able to handle going from football to basketball. What that switch in the mind has been like, being a multiple sport athlete.
Uh, it's definitely different as a conditioning aspect. You go from your end of the season football, and then you go right into like basketball conditioning. So that part kind of sucks. But as in like the whole thing, it's not terrible because you've been used to playing a sport. But it definitely like you want your body to get a little break right before you start from football to basketball.
If you make a deep playoff run, you're not getting that break. You're going
Yeah,
right from right from football to basketball.
I prefer
Is
that though.
Yeah, well, of course. But it's about time management. I mean, that's got to make your time management skills. You got to have them locked up. Have you always been someone that has been good at managing their time, or have you had to learn how to get a little bit more organized as you've gone through your high school career?
I would say I'm good at organizing my time because I've always gone from football to basketball and then into track. So that's probably like something I've learned to deal with. And you learn your own body, so like your own limits and what you need, like as in breaks and stuff. So I think I've done a pretty good job at that.
All right. So when you do need a break from all that, what kind of things do you do to kind of unwind and decompress yourself?
I don't know. I guess I just chill. I like to take ice baths and stuff, but uh, I'll try to get like usually just a week off in between a sport.
All right. So what's your favorite thing to do on those weeks off, like the hobbies you have or the things that are outside of sports that interest you?
Oh, okay. Obviously I play some video games, but I don't know. Recently, I haven't been playing many video games. Most of the time, if that happens, where I have that time off, I'll just come home and lay around.
What are some of your favorite kind of shows to binge watch if you have the time to kind of pop in a show?
uh, let's see. Right now, I'm watching Peaky Blinders. It's kind of not a very good rated show, but I like it on Netflix. I watched Breaking Bad, and then that's really it. I don't watch a ton of shows.
More of a movie guy?
Yeah, kind of more of a movie guy.
All right, what are some of your favorite movies?
Uh, Off the top of my head, I can't think because there's a lot of movies, but I do like war movies, and then obviously like sports movies too. So those are like my favorite categories.
All right, if they were gonna make a movie about you, who would you want to play Grant Hitchcock? Who do you think? Like, pull out an actor.
Oh, geez. I don't know. Maybe someone. Uh, I can't remember. I don't. I think it might be Brad Pitt, but the guy that's in Hangover, like with the long hair.
He's got to have the locks, right?
Yeah.
He's got it. That's trademark.
Yeah.
I think people want us to ask, like, what's the hair care routine? Because you got the flow, right? You probably have some of the best flow of the YSN family.
Uh, I actually don't do anything to it other
Don't do
than
anything. It says
yeah, I just wash it like every other day, and that's about it.
just natural, man.
Yeah.
It just shows up like that. When you look at this athletics community, what's it like to be part of just not just a football team, but an athletics room that has so many successful athletes right now? You look at the volleyball team; they're having a great season. Girls and boys basketball are both going to have good years. What's it like to look around the school and know that you're surrounded by a lot of good athletes that are just having success right now in the school system?
It makes you proud to be like from what school you're from, especially like seeing like success around your school throughout like many other sports. It's just like it makes you happy that you go to that school.
When you see other sports doing well, do you think it raises the bar for an athlete to say, "Hey, like let's do well with them"?
Yeah, definitely. It's like you want to like be the best sport for your school, so like it just like you want bragging rights. Definitely, you said raises the bar.
What's your favorite sport to be a part of the student section for?
Uh, Volleyball, honestly, like we've done pretty. I thought we did a good job in the student section during volleyball this year.
Okay, if you could be like a fly on the wall in the student section of football, what do you think would be like the favorite student section chant to bring to a football game?
Huh? I'm trying to think of like what chant I would like to hear if I was on the football field. I don't know. Something like to get under the other team's skin. That's like, let's see. I don't know, something directed like at a player, like individually. I don't know.
Oh, you're savage. Going with it.
Uh,
What do you think are some things that makes the Jefferson school system special and unique? And what does it mean to you to be a Falcon?
uh, especially like the league that we're in. We're so far away from every other team, obviously, but it's our last year in this league. Unique, I would just say like the difference. Like a lot of schools we play are like more like urban, and we're like a suburban rural school, so that helps a lot, especially being like uh, be able to compete in most of the sports we play.
You brought up the travel because everyone talks about what a trek it is to Jefferson for these teams, but no one really brings up the fact that you guys have to travel a lot more than everybody else because
Yeah.
obviously you have to go to all these teams. What's that been like to be on the road? And almost every conference road trip is at least 35 minutes long.
Uh, might sound weird, but like I actually kind of like the longer bus ride. Like it's not terrible when you get used to it. So like going down, like on your way down there, it's like a nice, like relaxing, like you just put your headphones in, listen to music on the way there. I feel like that's like helps us get ready.
What's your favorite road trip? Like what's the best road stadium to play in, do you think?
Mm, I don't know. I do like most of the teams, like stadiums that we play against. They all have nice stadiums. Hubbard's field is pretty cool because it's like kind of like elevated, and then I don't know. Most of the teams have nice stands.
All right, last question before we let you go. We have to talk about your future goals. So, what are some things that you want to see yourself doing in the next, 5, 6 years after you get out of college?
After college, depending on what I go for, I was thinking about being like going for exercise science. I might want to be like a speed trainer or like a strength trainer or something like that, but I still haven't decided what I was going to do after college. But obviously, I don't know about getting married within that 5 years, but eventually get married, have kids, and then grow a family. But that's like the
Plenty of
goal.
time for that.
Yeah.
Plenty of time. Do you have a college picked out?
No, not right now.
All right. What are some things that are on your wish list for a college when you're looking at prospective places to go?
Uh, Major obviously plays a big factor. They have to have your major that you want. Just like the environment, since I'm like I've always been around like not like a city type, so I don't really want to go to school like in the city.
Mm.
So somewhere more like with trees, fields, and stuff like that.
All right, Grant, before I let you go, I want to give you the chance to thank your support system and all the people that have been there for you throughout the years.
Yep. Thank you to my parents, my coaches, and then my teammates definitely. And shout out to the O line.
Gotta send love to the O line. They're the ones
Yep.
that protect you. All
Yep.
right, Grant. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today. We appreciate the time. We love watching you do your thing, and we will continue to cover you. We look forward to talking to you again real soon.
Thank you.